Cage Minds, Mika Frankl. Right now, we're joined by UFC light heavyweight Ryan Spann. Ryan, first off, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing well. What's going on with you? How are you doing? How's everything for Ryan Spann right now, first off?
Man, it's good, man. Ranked number 13 right now. And everything is looking up.
What was it like, the 3 fights falling out? You had 2 fights kind of postponed by coronavirus. What was that time like for you?
Oh, man, that was crazy. It was pretty hectic. Didn't quite know exactly what was going on with everything. So, it was kind of hard. Like, especially, so we missed out on the Houston. That fell out. And then they moved it to London with a new guy. And, like, that's when it really started getting crazy. Because it wasn't Corona that shot the Houston fight with OSP.
Right, that was injury, right? From him.
It wasn't an injury. It was I think I can say it. He popped positive for something.
Oh, okay.
It was USADA. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And he's since been cleared and all that. But served the suspension and whatnot. But so that pulled that fight, and then it was COVID that kind of got the London fight, and like going up into it, it was kind of crazy. Like I had to shut down my whole social media stuff and all that because I just got tired of hearing about it and not knowing what was going on with everybody, pretty much assuming stuff. So I was like, fuck it, and just turned everything off. And I didn't find out until like the day I was supposed to leave that it was like completely canceled.
Bags were packed?
Come again?
Were the bags packed? Like, how close were you to leaving before you found out it wasn't happening?
With my bags, I think my bags were packed. I think I had like an hour to get to the airport, or a little bit over an hour. And at this point, they called and told me they was going to move it to the U.S., so I knew I could just take my time or whatnot. So, yeah, it was. I think we were in the middle of packing. It was like 2 hours or so. And like I was just finishing up, and then we were going to go. So, and they called and canceled, and I was like, crap. So that one sucked. And then I was going to jump on the April 18th card on let's see, my coach called me and was like, where's your weight? And I was like, I'm not sure. He's like, can you make 205? I was like, he was like in Friday the 18th, and I was like, I looked at the calendar and it was like 2 weeks or something like that. And I thought, yeah, I can do that. He was like, you don't sound too sure. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna suck, but I can do it. And so we took that fight with Sam, and then they canceled that I think a week before. I think it was Friday or Saturday before the fight week. Canceled that. So that one sucked. And I think after that, that's when we went to Jacksonville. But yeah, those, man, that was basically, basically a few straight weeks of, months rather, of training, man. And by the time I was getting ready for my Jacksonville fight, man, I was just burnt out. So it got a little crazy.
I was out there in Tampa, saw the fight with Devin Clark. You won that one by submission. How quick was it after that you were back in the gym, like really preparing for that OSP fight?
Well, I actually started back training fairly quickly because Alonzo got hurt, and I was going to replace him on I think it was the DC card in December. So basically, I think the Devin Clark fight was the first fight I actually lived in Dallas. So as soon as I came back, I got right back to training. And we weren't sure if we was going to be able to take the DC fight or not. Basically, we were just going to swap out Alonzo for me. And we accepted the fight, and then the guy that he was supposed to fight was like, no, fuck that, I'm going down in weight. So he ended up going down to middleweight and didn't take the fight. So I was training for a while. So shortly after that, that's when they got us about OSP.
With the Sam Alvey fight, how it played out, do you almost feel like it was a little bit better for you that it did get delayed so you had the extra couple weeks for training? Or by then had it been almost too much training for your liking?
It may have been too much. Because I was just burned out, like, mentally at that point. Like, I probably would have stopped him the April 18th one. Yeah, because I was still a little searcher. But by whenever we fought, I was like, you know what? I'm just, whatever. We'll see how this goes. Like, I was so burnt. Like, it wasn't for, like, I hired the Lockhart and Lake guys and for my weight cut and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like, I didn't want to manage anything. I was tired of thinking. And Eric, he came and earned his money because I was quite literally the last one to get on the scale because it got real. Like, it got real.
That's been the worst cut since you've made this move to 205?
Actually, no. I think the first time I moved up, it was the worst one, but that was like the worst one for like the UFC. And it wasn't that bad. Like, it was actually pretty good up until like the last, like, the water wouldn't get hot. And so to take the last few pounds off, and then the last few pounds that were hard to get off. So I had to wake up and cut again. Usually I don't cut the day of the weigh-in.
Get it done the night before?
So, yeah. So I don't have to think about it. I can just wake up and go to weigh-ins. So, yeah, that one I had to get up and cut. And, like, I was still cutting up until, like, 10:30 something. And then finally I was like, all right, gotta go check it out. But, yeah, Eric earned his money right there because that one sucked.
How just taxing is it on the body that you got within fight week? That was 2 times before fighting, right? About a week apart before going to London, it was canceled, and then Alvey. So just how taxing is that on your body?
Oh no, yeah, that sucks too. Like, it all kind of worked together because when I was getting ready for Alvey, the Jacksonville one, I was like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this anymore. like I'm just tired of cutting, tired of doing all of it. So that was not fun, and just the results show that I didn't have too much fun. Being that I couldn't stop them, and I shouldn't stop them.
So I don't know if you're in the joyful mood where right now is vacation, but was there a little bit of I needed to go take a break after that fight? Yeah. I knew I needed a break. Like, I think for the most part, I didn't take this whole week off. Right after that fight, I pretty much had to keep training and stay together because Alonzo was getting ready. So I had to help him with his camp. So it was basically went straight back into training as soon as I got back. And now I can take a little break. So I think I took off this week. I'll start back training maybe tomorrow or Sunday. And with that, what would be your plan? It's the 8-fight win streak. You mentioned it already, number 13 in the rankings. When do you want to fight again?
ASAP, as soon as possible. I love this. Love how there's no crowds and all that, and basically go in and fight, and then go right back to the hotel. Like, I love all that. Like, it just they bring us to the venue like an hour and a half before, basically long enough to get taped up, warm up, and fight. Then do a couple interviews after you win and leave. So, like, I love it. I want to do that again. And right now, it's harder finding people to fight me because I want to fight up, and I don't want to take a step back. Keep going forward. We tried to fight the 12 guy. He didn't want it. He was like, you need a camp, whatever. I might actually try to get that one again. the number 11 guy, and he also didn't want it. He need a camp apparently or whatever. So I don't know. And then now I really want the number 10 guy though. Anyway, like I want to take a few steps ahead. I don't want to wait to fight somebody just to trade one or two spots. I want to jump from 13 to 10 or like break the top 10 next. So I want the number 10 guy, number 9 guy, somewhere from there.
I'm looking right now at the rankings, and I'm just wondering logistically, like, I don't know where Johnny Walker lives, and I don't know where Misha. I thought Serkinov was from Canada, so I didn't know if some of the problems for you right now would be sidelined by, like, just travel logistics and maybe, like, needing to go to Fight Island, basically, to get that next one, just because I think, like, it's all the way up to Anthony Smith before we get an American.
Yeah, and that's why I called out Anthony Smith before. Pretty much right after his fight was over. I'll take either one of them. I don't care. But I think Misha lives in Vegas.
Okay.
I think he lives in Vegas. He may live in Canada. He's one of those two.
Right.
Either way it goes, I think he lives in Vegas because they offered, like, we tried to fight him for a June fight, so he's in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't have enough time. Johnny, we tried to do the island, the late island was the last one on the island.
25th of July.
Yeah. And he was like, he needs to get a camp, to get a proper camp or whatever. So, I don't know what's up with these guys. Like, either way, them cats can meet me on the island. They can meet me back in Vegas. It doesn't matter. Like, I would like to fight no later than, like, early August.
Do you think you've built, like, that kind of name, that your performances have been that scary that these guys don't want to fight you?
No, that's weird. I haven't shown anything. Like, I'm not scary at all. Like, I haven't did anything to be like, oh, I don't want to fight that guy. Like, I've basically been fighting in cruise control.
Well, there was that Nogueira knockout. I'm like, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, that was sweet, but that was still me in cruise control. Like, I haven't shown anything spectacular, for a while. Like that can be chalked up to, oh, he's older or whatever. Like what everybody try to say. So, like, I haven't did anything too imposing, too scary. So I don't know why they don't want to fight.
Do you feel like the division is more open now recently, that there's more opportunity to get to the top than there was in recent years?
I would say that if I could get a fight. So, I don't know, man. That's a good one. You would think so, but it's so hard to get a fight.
So you're looking at the landscape.
Have to fight down more than likely just to get a fight. And, I mean, I really don't want to do that. That's a waste of a fight for me.
Right? You're at a point right now with the ranking, with the number, making your run towards the top. You're kind of looking for, I don't want to say more of a win-win situation, but somewhere that's going to take you higher, right?
Right, correct. Definitely want to aim up. I don't want to big brother these guys. Let me go and take out, these people that I need to take out, which are above me. I'm 13 spots away from the title, so I need to take out the guys that's above me just to get there. Me fighting down won't advance me in the rankings.
And have you even wasted any energy concerning yourself with what's going on at the top right now? John Jones has verbally said, or Twitter said, he'd vacate the title, let Reyes and Blachowicz fight for it. He wants a bigger fight. The UFC doesn't want a top. Have you even wasted any energy looking at what's going on up there?
No, I saw it. Like I don't pay too much attention to it, but I saw that. My thing is, like, I honestly don't care who has the belt when I get there. I'm going to take it. thing is the lineage. So if he vacates the title, that kind of screws with the lineage a little bit. And so that's what I'm looking at. Other than that, like, I don't really care.
Right, it'd just be nicer
Like,
to see somebody dethrone the
champ.
champ.
To make big money, you know. But I don't care who has the belt.
And there's a lot of fighters out there complaining about money and complaining a lot about factors. Do you have anything to complain about? Besides not getting a fight right now?
Like, yeah, that's my only thing. I need to fight to make money to complain about not making money. So, I haven't even gotten to the point where I could, you know, complain about the money I make and all that stuff. And, you know, I mean, obviously, of course, I'm going to want to make more. But as of right now, you know, I got to take what I can get until I earn that right to be able to complain. A lot of these guys earn it right. Masvidal's been around long enough. John Jones been around long enough. Like, you know, John Jones really deserves to make the money that he's asking for to fight up, especially to fight the number one contender at heavyweight. So, like, in John Jones, we're talking about a guy who really haven't lost. Technically, he has one loss on his record, but basically he beat the guy to submission and quit.
Right, we saw that one.
So, yeah. Like, so he has no losses, won no contest. But, you know, he deserves to make that kind of money. Like, I haven't got to the point where I can complain about the money that I make just yet. But, you know, hopefully I won't have to get to that point, but, you know, the things change. But if they don't, then, you know, I feel like I've earned that right.
I know you're not in that opportunity or in that realm yet to complain, but you do watch those situations to see how they play out, right?
Yeah. For the most part, I try to anyway. Some stuff just being in the MMA circle, you know, you hear some stuff, but I don't really just actively go looking and all that stuff just yet or whatever.
And then being in the MMA circle, actually, and you being a fighter, are there guys that you like to watch?
Who do I like to watch? Yeah. Like I was telling Alonzo the other day that him and Jeff Neal are my favorite fighters. They just happen to be on my team, but they're my favorite fighters to watch. Who else do I like? I like watching Ben Henderson. Mighty Mouse when I can catch him. Who else? We have some people. Matter of fact, like really a lot of my teammates. Come to think about it, I love watching them. Like those guys are savages, especially like JP Buys. I haven't really got to see much of him, but that dude is a savage. No pun intended, because that's his nickname. But like I like watching guys. Yeah, I like watching a few guys. I don't really watch too many people in my weight class, but like I was a fan of people want to call him Jonathan, but John Jones and Anderson Silva until like I basically within those weight classes. But other than that, I don't know. Like I watch DC. I like watching DC.
As a fan, are you intrigued for the trilogy fight, DC Miocic 3?
Yeah, I want him to do it. I think like I really like DC. I want him to do it and walk away with the belt. You know, Stipe probably come back and get it, but you know, and like I have nothing against Stipe, and I like DC. I like a good story. You know, DC has a good story.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the professional fighter. I kind of feel like in that second fight, DC had it, and then he kind of got a little too consumed looking for the knockout.
Yeah, I think really it was he slept on those body shots. Like they started to add up on him before he could catch him, and he was just because he was walking through all his punches, and then like Stipe set it up nice. You know, he set it up. He set him up. I mean, he set a trap for him. It was beautiful. And he just kind of walked into it. You know, he wasn't giving them that respect with them body shots. Like, a lot of people don't respect body shots like that. But, like, I love them. I need to start using them more in fights. I use them a lot in training, but other than that, like, I think DT was winning, and he can win this next one. I think he just slept on him a little bit.
You said you wanted to get to using those body shots. How hard is it to kind of start to incorporate something new that you're doing in the gym live under the lights?
It's not hard. So a lot of the times I limit myself when I fight. I don't, like, I would not want to do certain things and all of that. Like, it depends on, like, a lot of my techniques I do in training I don't do in the fight because either the risk or opportunity. You know, like, I have to tame my body. If I let my body go, y'all will see a lot more. But I don't want to do something that's not ready. Like, at one point in the Alvey fight, I think I threw, like, a flying knee, or I attempted to throw a flying knee, and he was gone. So it was basically me hopping towards the fence. And in my head, I was like, I bet that looks stupid. And so when he was, I turned around, like, I think my hand was on the octagon, and I turned around looking at him, smiling, like, laughing at myself. And he came at me, and I was like, oh, I'm about to spin. And when I turned to spin, like, he was, like, right there on me. So basically, I just did a spin under his punch and backed away to end the second round, I think. And just, I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that. Like, it looked cool, though. But, like, I was really just trying to, I wanted to basically force a spin. And that wasn't the time for it. So I really just tamed my body and all that. It's not hard, like my front kicks to the body and all that stuff. It's stuff I've been doing. Like, it was just an opportunity in that fight. So it's just basically watching and seeing what works best where and implementing.
And again, in the game of the mixed martial arts world, also, it's not just how good you are, it's how popular you are. We've talked about that money aspect. Have you in any way thought about, needing to make a bigger brand or presence to get some of that, to get some opportunities? Because we see that people kind of with those media followings get pushed up a little more.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I don't know, man. It's like I'm trying to be more active, I guess, but like, honestly, I don't care about all that. Like, Joe asked me after the fight, and I think I said something about I don't like people. And, like, it's, like, 100% true. But, like, I don't know. I just don't care for that part of the game. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I just keep knocking people out and finishing people. They'll pay me more money.
You said that. I'm watching from home, and I'm like, this is why I love talking to that dude. It's not sugar-coated. It's real from Ryan Spann. You have to appreciate that in the fight game.
Yeah, man. I got to, man. Like, my brother was like, you probably shouldn't have said that. Like, he started scratching his head. There's a picture from when I said it, and he just started scratching his head. Like, what are you thinking? But I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't like people, so I don't care too much about all this other stuff.
How awkward was the process of getting ready for the fights? I'm sure there was limitations at the gym, limitations of how many people were around. Was it any awkward? I know that you, Alonzo, there's Rashad Coulter, there's a few of you guys in that heavyweight, kind of light heavyweight class there with Fortis. So was it that much different training?
Yeah. So we had a small group of people coming in. It was like me, Uriah, and because me and Uriah were supposed to fight in Jacksonville together, Alonzo, and then we had some guys that come in and help us, Tumar, Ramirez, I think Charles came towards the end and started getting ready for his, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Jeff Neal, and like, we were just a small group of guys, and we were trained, just us in the gym, so that was kind of cool.
I'm like, that's a small group, but that's a pretty high-level group right there.
Right. Right. Yeah. Everybody killers, man.
And that's what I was actually thinking. You bring it up now. You mentioned the name Uriah Hall. I know you're not as active on social media. I think when I've seen his Facebook or Instagram videos, I see you more in the background than I see you posting videos.
That's my guy, man. I love it to death. Yeah. We always have fun, man. Like, I think I posted something the other day where it was like me and Uriah was standing like right behind me, and so, but you could not see him. But yeah, that's my guy. I love him, man. We always have fun. He's been ducking me and taking those, but you know, he's supposed to be like the number 2 player in the world and all that stuff. But you know, I don't know.
Wait, number 2 player in the world in what?
Tekken.
Oh, in Tekken. Oh, man.
Yeah.
What are you playing? Xbox? PlayStation?
PlayStation, man, all day.
All right. Got to check. And what's the latest Tekken that's out? Because I honestly have not bought one in forever.
I actually only bought one because Uriah. I think it was... Shit, I don't remember. I think 7, maybe?
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't even have my phone on me.
I'm like, I used to have the Tekken tag, and we used to go all night.
Oh, man, Tekken Tag, that was in the 90s, wasn't it?
No, that
Like
was...
late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s. And then I had like the next 3 after that. But after that, I kind of got into Soul Calibur.
Yeah, okay. No,
You ever seen that one with the weapons?
That's a fantasy type game, though, right?
The first 3 versions of it, it was the same thing as Tekken, but they used weapons, and then they changed it into like a fantasy game.
Okay. Yeah, Tekken 7 is the last one I would think.
All right. Didn't know that you were much of a gamer.
Oh, man, that's all I do. Not lately. Like, especially Fight Week, we get together, like, I bring my PlayStation and we be on Madden or 2K or something like that. Like, that'd be my weight cut. You know, sitting in the sauna playing games.
Okay, that's what kills the time.
Yeah.
So what is your game? You said you're trying to get Uriah because he's number 2 at Tekken, but what's your game?
I'm into, let's see, I haven't played Warzone that much. Like, I was a big Call of Duty head for a while. I think lately I've been on 2K. Either 2K or Madden, but usually 2K.
Oh, yeah,
Basketball, yeah. I'm not even a big basketball fan.
But you like the video game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I have an Xbox 360. I tried to rent, like, the newest version. And, yeah, I realized I'm getting just worse at video games as I get older.
Well, that's because one Xbox sucks. So, you know, there's that. You can just go ahead and burn that now. And just get the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 when it comes out. You know, other than that, yeah, we're cool. But Xbox sucks. Like, you just lost me this whole interview right now. Like, I'm about ready to go.
I'm like, well, don't worry. It's an Xbox 360. It's not a new one. It's not like I've capped up. It's basically a paperweight. When I turned it on because the virus started and I was stuck at home, I was like, it works. It still works. Wow.
You gotta blow it off.
Exactly. Liver dust. Exactly. So I'm not the Xbox guy. I do have a PlayStation 2. I don't know when we went Xbox, but we did in this house at some point. And then we know Brian's also the family man. So obviously a lot of time with the kids. What have you guys been up to?
Actually, I've been going a lot. Like, between training, or what I did was I got a Airbnb. Even though I live here,
yeah,
got an Airbnb to get away so I can eat right and train and focus on, getting ready for Jacksonville. So I was there for a little while. Went to fight, came back basically a couple weeks later. No, where did I go? I went to Beaumont to visit, and came back. Then left again for the fights for a long this is like basically my first full week, I think, here since I fought. And we went out a couple times, like even when I was here and stuff. But like we'll probably go out and play catch or go to the park. I just bought a jogging stroller for my youngest, so he's gonna be going for a ride with me when I start back running.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a lot going on, man. It sounds like you've been busy.
Yeah, I have, man. That's why I was like, I have to take this week off. Like, actually chill out a little bit. Hey, that was in boom up for a little while. Like last week when I was gone, so they could see their folks and all that, because they was basically in the house for 3 months. And, like, so now we're back, and we're probably going to start doing some stuff around, like, outside and stuff. Like, I still don't care too much for going to these establishments and stuff, these play establishments. Just really take them out, go to a park and to open field. Like, I got football, baseball, soccer, stuff like that.
Nice. And you get so busy. Is there an extra relief with this week off after getting this fight out of the way? I know it wasn't the performance you wanted, but with the ups and downs of the fights falling out since February, was there an extra relief or gratification after this one?
I don't know about a relief. It's like it's like more of a grateful, that it's over, that I won, but I'm still not satisfied. Like, right after the fight, I immediately walked over. Like, I was talking to, like, during the fight, I was talking to my coach, and, like, in between rounds, I would say something to Dana or something like that, because he was, like, right behind me. And, like, right after the fight, I was like, I'm not happy. I want to come back ASAP. Like, I wanted to fight. I told him, I want to come back in June, But, he wasn't able to make anything happen. The guy didn't take the fight, so it's weird. I would like to really have a break, but it's like now I got it in my mind that I want to buy a house, so I'm trying to find it. Just add to it so I can get a break.
Well, that makes sense. You need the down payment.
Yeah, exactly. So
you got the UFC
my plan now.
You got the UFC contract from the Contender Series. Was the 249 fight, was it reminiscent to that? Did it have that same scenario, or was it even a different feel?
Which one was 49? Is that the one I just did?
Yeah, just the Alvey fight, having that no audience surrounding, because you had already came up the way of the Contender Series.
You talking about didn't it feel the same, or you just winning? I don't understand.
Oh, like, did the atmosphere feel the same? The no crowd, was it reminiscent? Like, the Contender Series, you did have some family there, and then at this one, it was totally no audience. Was that atmosphere kind of the no audience atmosphere?
It was like yes and no, basically. There was some similarities because it was quieter, but at the same time, it was different because you got to walk out with music, and it was like a bigger arena, so you can actually look around and tell that no one is there. And so it was just different. Plus, I've grown a lot, so I soaked it in a lot differently. Like, I was doing a lot more talking this fight, being able to hear the commentators and all that stuff. So it was a little different, yeah. I liked it better, actually.
Are you able to hear, because that was people made a lot of it in some of the earlier events. Are you able to hear the commentators that clearly?
Yeah. At times I could hear, and like especially DC, and I remember him saying something about somebody needs to do something with the right leg, and I remember thinking, like, you talking about me or Sam? Like, I think we was clinched against the fence in the second or the third round, and it was like, one of us need to do something, and I was like, which one? So it was, you could definitely hear, like, even looking down and seeing seeing the corner, hearing the cornerman and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot different.
Did you guys have any talk about coming up with codes or anything after that? Because everybody can hear each other so easily in that atmosphere.
Oh, we always had codes. Yeah, we're coach would always make codes. we had to make new ones because I think I got knocked out Nogueira. In my post-fight interview, I gave away one of them. And so we had to make new codes just in case. Matter of fact, when you watch Jeff Neal, when he fought Frank Camacho, you can hear coach be like 0-0-0, and then pow, he got smacked with a head kick. You know?
You're like, got to change that now.
Yeah.
And how has that been something that's just been added into your game with Fortis, or is that something that you did before?
Codes or what?
The codes, yeah.
Yeah, codes, yeah, that was Fortis. That's Coach Safe all day.
And how much have you loved this move?
Oh, man, I'm glad. It's one of the best things I've done. Yeah, it was definitely one of the best things I've done.
How do you look back on the decision? Should have made it sooner? Did you make it too hard on yourself?
No, I think it happened at the right time. I had to go through a bunch of stuff before to kind of get me to that point, but all of that made me better, made me grow, and basically got to the point where I was ready. Instead of like if I went earlier without any of that stuff happening, then I wouldn't have been ready. So it just kind of all happened at the right time.
You've been in this game for a while. It's 23 professional fights. How do you feel right now is your time and everything's coming together right for you?
It feels good. You know, it's good to see, like, get the number and all that stuff. You know, it's kind of cool. And I guess I was kind of nonchalant about it when I first got it. I was like, okay, cool. But I don't know. Like it kind of feels like everything has been worth it. You know, like I can see progress now, and it feels good.
Right. We went to talking to you when this journey started, where you were looking to return, getting back on the win streak, get the opportunity on the Contender Series, and now to be having a win streak inside of the UFC, moving up the rankings. I know it's not fully where you want to be yet, but it has to be, make you smile somewhat, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely feels good. You know, I think I didn't even know that. I was like, it's like you're tied for first with the longest active win streak in the light heavyweight division, and I think it was me, John Jones, and some other guy, and then I think now Glover to share as there too. It's like four of us or whatever tied, and I actually just texted my coach today. I seen a thing that the other guy, the Mahomed, whatever he is, he's number 14.
Mahomed Ankalaev?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
He's fighting in August, and I was like, I need to fight before this guy. I was like, I need to fight before this guy, because if he wins, he'll have the longest streak. I need to get that. Yeah, no, it feels good though, like seeing progress. You know, it's always good to see your progress. Because sometimes you get so caught up in looking at the big picture that you don't see the small steps. So, yeah, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm getting there. And like that number is proof.
It's great getting to talk to Ryan Spann. Great seeing your success, sir.
I appreciate it.
Was there anybody?
Yeah, it's always good talking to you, man. I don't talk to many people, as you know, so it's always good talking to you.
Right, I feel privileged. Was there anybody that you needed to thank or shout out to?
Well, yeah, my sponsors, Council Ford and Beaumont. Yeah, they're actually gonna bring another truck. Actually, I don't know when it's coming. I'm kind of waiting on it. I'm getting like a big ACV. Switching out my Navigator for Expedition, so kind of looking forward to that. So that's definitely a thank you to them, and then my coaches and team at Extreme Studio Performance, Mike Scatia, Dr. Man, with Reform Sports, Ortho. Who else? Oh, Coach Safe, definitely. And my brother, family.
I don't know if I know a fighter that's been sponsored by one company as long as Kinsel Ford has sponsored you.
Yeah, right. I think it's been 2015, 20. I think 2015.
That's really cool to see.
Yeah. Oh shit! 5 years. I don't even think I realized that.
Yeah, no, that
I
just dawned on me
remember
as
when
you
I met
always
him.
mention it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I
Well-
have to see. I remember the fight that they came. It was either 2015 or 2016. Let me see. 2016. Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, that's four and a half years or so, 4 years.
That's wow. Yeah, that's been a while. Still, that's one of the longer relationships I've had. You don't see sponsors sticking around with fighters that long.
Yeah, because I'm grateful for it because like we had some ups and downs in that time, especially when we first like got together. I think I went lost, then win, lost, and then like now we're on the street. So yeah, we've been together for a while, and they definitely like as soon as they came on board, I basically started losing, and they stayed with me.
Was something like that inspiring, seeing other people that were willing to stay on board with you when things weren't going right?
You know, like they really care for me and help me out and all that stuff. And it's not just about, you know, what can he do for me, but like what can we do for each other type thing.
And there needs to be more of that just all around, I think.
That is true. That is true.
Right, right. Again, Ryan, it was great getting to talk to you. I've taken up a bunch of your time today.
That's all good, man.
How can everybody
Ain't got
follow
nothing.
you real quick? Because we got to build up that social media following, whether you like it or not.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what it is. I think it's at Superman _Spann on Instagram and Twitter, I think.
I'll double check it
Or
and
just
add it
Google
into
it.
the interview.
Just Google my name, it comes up.